Hey everyone, this is Becky Bridgham, and I am a senior director with 31. I've been a part of this wonderful community for 7 years, and I'm super passionate about what we offer, what we have that is unlike any other company, any other community. And so what I want you to hear today while I'm sharing is that I might step on your toes, I might challenge you a little, but it's always coming from a place of love, that I know how amazing this opportunity is and how amazing each and every one of you can be. And so I'm gonna call it like it is and be super real, and maybe a little bit passionate is probably the best word to put it. So at the end of the day, I love to coach and empower women. And one of my biggest joys, I always share this story, was watching some senior director. That means I have 2 directors on my team. And one of the biggest joys, I always tear up thinking about it, was when I got to see those women walk across the stage and them promote to director. Like my director promotion was amazing. I was super proud, but to be able to watch them achieve that is a feeling like no other. And I'm sure anyone else who has helped a consultant Pika, or you've helped them promote to senior consultant, or you've helped promote directors, or help people along in life, that is a true joy that is beyond your own success, is when you can help other people be successful, feel so much better. And so that's what we're going to talk about today. And part of that is, as a coach, as an empowerer of women, I just have to say, it's joyful to watch that, right? But it's also super frustrating. My biggest frustration in this business and working with women business owners is so many times you will sell yourself short. You will give up before you reach the goal. You will grace yourself out of growth. That's a term that I use a lot of the times. Sometimes you need a little grace. You're tired, you're hungry, the kids have lice, the dog has fleas, someone's got a stomach bug. I need some grace this week that I can't get done what I wanted to. But I think other times we grace ourselves out of growth. We're like, oh, well, I'm just tired, or I just don't feel like it today, or this is harder than I thought it would be. Yeah, sometimes you're gonna have to do the actions when you don't feel like doing the actions. And you are in this group to grow. You are hopefully in this group to grow into leadership so that you too can have that feeling of helping other people be successful. Sometimes you're not gonna feel like it. Sometimes you're gonna be tired. Sometimes that host is gonna be nasty, or that customer is gonna be cranky, or your kids are gonna be vomiting, right? You're gonna have moments, but the difference between someone who wants to promote and someone who's willing to do the work to promote are the people who push through how you feel to get it done. So that's what I want to tell you. If you are in this group, I'm so glad you're here. But being in this group is not going to help you grow. Being in this group is not going to grow you. You are going to grow you. Being in this group, taking up space, having your name in the membership of this group is not going to promote you to director. You doing the actions that require you to become a director is what's going to promote you to director. So as I'm saying, I'm just going to do a little bit of toe stomping today, that you are investing weeks into this. Don't waste your time by just showing up, right? Showing up, you get a participation ribbon. Where are your participation ribbons? In a file somewhere? Where are your trophies? Where are your accomplishments? Where are your degrees that you stick up on your wall? The pinnacle of finishing, that's what you display. You don't display the participation ribbon. We're not here to just participate. We're here to be a partnership to help you get to where your goals are, okay? And that is growth, but you gotta do the work. You gotta watch the videos. You gotta do the homework. You gotta do the connected contacts. You gotta do the parties. You gotta ask people to join your team every week, right? That's how you're gonna promote. Not by just showing up and filling out a paper and watching a video, by doing the work. That's what I want to see from you all this week, is what is the work that you are planning on doing? And I'm going to give you a couple action steps in our topic today. So The topic today is deep and wide. How can we grow community? How can we have a recruiting culture? And how can we help our new consultants be successful? So one of the things I always say is every leader, so guess what? You now need to step into the role of a leader. You might be a consultant. You might not have anyone on your team. You might have a few people on your team. You might have 10 people on your team. Whatever your status looks like on your report, you need to step into the role of leader. I am a leader. I show up like a leader. I work like a leader. I work my business like a leader. I am positive and encouraging like a leader. Step into that role. And part of that is building that community, whether you have one person on your team or 10 people, building a community where you are leading them. Every leader needs 3 things, okay? You need the inspiration. That means you are leading from the front. I always try to be the highest recruiter on my team, the highest sales on my team, and I don't always reach that because I have some awesome women on my team. I actually like when they beat me, right? Like a little bit, but I want to be out in front. I'm willing to do the work. I always tell that to my team. Like if we're going to set a goal, I'm not going to say, here's your goal. I'm going to say, this is our goal. And I'm willing to show up and do the work that's going to get us there. So inspiration, you need to be an inspirational leader by showing up as the best one on your team, showing up as the hardest worker in the room, showing up day after day, week after week, being the leader that someone wants to follow. No one wants to follow people who don't do the work, who are grumpy, who are negative, who are complaining. If you're complaining about what color nail file is in the catalog, you got better things to think about, okay? You got work to do. So show up as an inspiration. The second thing every leader needs to do to create that community is give information. Make sure that your team is never wondering, what is that? Where was that? When did that happen? How do I know? And I mean, the information is out there. TOT is out there. They get the emails, but at least the big things, you want to make sure that your team has the information that they need to be successful, okay? Whether that's a weekly post, whether that's sending out an email every once in a while, forwarding the email that you get from Carrie. Make sure that they have the information that they need. Inspiration, information, and encouragement. Everyone wants to be seen. Everyone wants to be loved. Everyone wants to be encouraged for what they're doing. And it doesn't always have to be based on their sales. It doesn't have to be based on their recruiting. It could just be like, hey, thanks for being a positive voice on our team page. Or, hey, I really think your new hairdo looks cute today. Whatever it is, make sure that you are encouraging them. Their first order, their first party, their first recruit, it's their birthday, it's their anniversary. Encouragement, 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 especially your high performers. Sometimes we feel like, oh, the top of the team, they know they're great, right? No. Your highest performers need the most love because they're working, right? You want to be showering them with encouragement and affirmation, right? So in that team culture, inspiration, information, and encouragement. You want to be building relationships, showing up as your authentic self. Like I show up like this on my team page all the time, half sweaty from the gym. I don't always have makeup on. Sometimes I'm chewing gum. Like I show up as me because I want them to see me. It's not a performance. I want to get to know them. I share stories about my life. I post pictures of, crazy things that happen in my life. You want to be building relationships. And as your team grows, you might think, well, that's really hard if you have 100 people on your team. You can still have those relationships by just touching your team. I would say touch your team once a month, once a week. It could just be a, hey, how are you? And your team is not always going to reply back to you. Sometimes that's a frustrating thing as a leader where you're like, well, I messaged them and they never get back to me. It's not your job for them to reply. It's your job to reach out. Right? So you might reach out, and a few weeks later, someone say like, thanks so much for checking in on me. It's been so crazy. I appreciate it. They're not always going to reply back to you, but it's your job to touch them. So touch your team and just make sure you're building that relationship. Do fun things in your team page. Put up funny quotes. Treat your team page a little bit like a VIP group where you want to get engagement. So it's not all just like, business. You want connection, right? Get to know. You can do different like programs like a Secret Sister thing or a Meme Friday, whatever it is that fits your personality to really grow that community. That's what people stay. They stay for the friendship, right? They stay for the income, they stay for the products. But at the end of the day, if you can build community, you will have much more connection and loyalty from your team. Okay, so as a leader, you're stepping into that role, make sure you're building community. I am guilty of getting super task oriented where I'm like, to-do list, get it done, that you lose sight of the people. Make sure you never forget the people, because they're the ones who really make this the best thing that's around, right? It's that community we have. We can go run a business anywhere, but you can only run a business with this sisterhood here, okay? So team community. Second thing is recruiting culture. How do you create a recruiting culture on your team? You got to recruit. You have to recruit. You have to be the biggest recruiter on your team. Make it non-negotiable goal every month that you are going to recruit 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, whatever it is. There should not be a month that goes by that you're like, oh, I'm not even going to try, like I'm not even going to ask anyone to join my team this month. No, it should be non-negotiable. If it is the 30th of the month and you don't have a new team member, get out your book, get out your Facebook, get out your list, start asking people to join your team. You want your team to grow, you have to lead from the front. And I always say, ask everyone. Do not prejudge. I know we hear that all the time, but you just never know who needs 31. It's not about you. It's not how they're going to see you. If they're going to think you're salesy, if like, oh, well, she's a lawyer, she doesn't need it. Or, she's got 5 kids, she's too busy. You have no idea what's going on in people's lives, that they might need the fun, the friendships, the finances. They might just want the more fabulous products or the flexibility. Ask everyone and be the biggest recruiter on your team, okay? So first thing is you need to recruit if you want a recruiting culture. Second thing, teach your team how to recruit. One of the ways that I find is easy to do this is by doing a recruiting event. So even if you are, say you don't have a team yet, you're not a director, right? So maybe you only have like you and like a friend on your team. The two of you can do a fun event. Go live on Facebook and share why you love 31. When you recruit with your team, you're also teaching them the language of how do you ask questions? What do you do when someone says, is there a website fee? Lead from the front, but also walk alongside of your team to recruit with them, right? However that looks like you, whether it's an event, whether you're giving them scripts, whether you are, using the Think 31 event and just, making that a goal within your team. Recruit from the front, but recruit side by side. And then, again, ask everyone, every customer, every VIP, every hostess, every friend, because you never know who needs 31. And the more you party, if you're getting your 15 connecting contacts and that's turning into a few parties a month for you, make sure that you're sharing the kits and the opportunity in your parties, because every time that circle grows bigger and bigger, you have more opportunities to reach new people, right? I know sometimes we're like, geez, I don't even know who to ask. I feel like I've asked everyone. I've been in that spot. We've all been there. But when you are in front of new people every week at parties, that's who you ask, right? You have new people to be asking. And then the third section of this deep and wide is new consultant success. So this also goes back to those 3 big things of being an inspiration, giving them information, and being an encouragement to them. Sometimes when we have new consultants, they need to borrow our confidence, right? They don't know what they're doing. They've never done this before. They don't know the difference between direct ship and ship to hostess, and how do they personalize, and what happens if they can't personalize. They are completely starting out with 0 information as a new consultant. Like even if they've been a hostess and they have a little bit of information, so they don't feel confident right now, right? So they have to borrow your confidence. And the best way to do that is to kind of do that on the job training. Like, hey, Sally, I know you're new. If you want me to help, either you want to help them with a launch party, you don't actually have to run it for them. That's totally up to you. Different people have different philosophies on that. But here's at least a script that you can use. Here's some suggestions. How can I help you? What do I need? I know you can do this. That's where they have to borrow that confidence. Make sure that they know you believe in them, whether they believe in themselves or not, and set them up for success with a launch party. Make sure that they know that no question is silly, that they can ask you anything. I always say, you want to have boundaries with your team, that you're not getting messages at 1 a.m. But I always tell them you can ask anything and I will definitely get back to you within a day, because you want them to not sit and wonder. You want them to have the ability to ask you. And if you don't know the answer, you can ask your director, you can ask your consultant friends. We're all here together to help each other be successful, and that's what you want them to feel. You don't want them to feel like they just signed up for something, they're totally lost, they don't even know how to log in, and then they feel alone and they feel dumb asking questions. No, you want to make sure that they feel loved, taken care of, and encouraged to do their best, right? So I want to challenge you that if you are ready to grow, don't just take up space in this group. Get to work. You have your goal sheets. You have the previous weeks of trainings on goals and strategies. You just got to do the work, right? What is the work that you are committing to doing this week? That's what I would love to see in the comments. Is it 15 connected contacts? Is it booking 3 parties in April? Is it reaching out to 10 people to ask them to join your team? What is the work that you are planning on doing as you're going to step into this role of leadership in this grow group? So any questions, comments below, and I would be happy to help. Bye, friends.